Welcome to another episode of Erik Wait Whiskey Studies. I'm going to do a re-review of the Teeling Irish Single Malt Whiskey. Alright, just coming off a month break at the end of summer 2021, and going to do another series on Irish whiskey. Shaved the beard off, got a new house, got more shelves in which to stock whiskey. So I thought, you know what? I haven't had Irish whiskeys in a while. Let's do another series on Irish whiskey. However, in this video, I'm going to kick off a re-review of the Teeling Irish Single Malt Whiskey. Why am I doing that? Number one, whiskeys do change and open up over time to sort of refresh my memory of the whiskey and see if perhaps I have a different take on it. But before I get into that, here are my notes. The Teeling Irish Single Malt Whiskey is made from 100% malted barley, aged in ex-bourbon casks, and then finished in 5 wine casks: sherry, port, Madeira, as well as white Burgundy or Chardonnay, and Cabernet Sauvignon. It is non-chill filtered, has natural color, it's bottled at 46% alcohol by volume, and sells for about $60 in my neighborhood. So they use some really heavy fortified wine casks. They use sherry, port, and this Madeira, which are really heavy fortified wines, and then they use a Cabernet Sauvignon cask, a big heavy tannic red wine cask, and then they use this Burgundy or this Chardonnay. Red Burgundy would be a Pinot Noir, a white Burgundy is going to be Chardonnay. And you might think, hey, isn't that Chardonnay going to get lost with the Cabernet Sauvignon and all those fortified wines? Well, there's something they do in wine production in which they use a big heavy red wine and then add a little bit of a white wine to give it sort of an aromatic lift, to sort of lighten it up a little bit. Particularly common in Côte Rôtie in the Northern Rhone, in which they take Syrah and add a little bit of Viognier. And I think that's the same thing that's going on here is they're using a Chardonnay cask to give a sort of aromatic lift to these big, heavy red wine casks and fortified wine casks. All right, let's get into it. So color-wise, it is really golden on the nose. I'm getting cinnamon and raisins, almost like a cinnamon bread. I do get some dark black fruit notes, particularly black currant and cassis. And then I get some vanilla and baking spices. But there's also this sort of white sugary character to it. It reminds me of like the smell of a white frosting on a cake. On the palate, it is sweet up front, in the middle, and into the finish. There's a definite malty character there, so you get a lot of that sort of grainy, malty character. Up front, I get the raisins, a lot of vanilla, a little bit of the cassis and black currants. That white frosting character is definitely kicking in. About 3/4 of the way back, I get a lot of vanilla and baking spices. It has a nice viscosity to it. Let's say it's medium bodied. The development is really nice. I would say get more of the darker fruits up front, more of the ice frosting on the back end, and that sweetness really hangs in there. It's got sort of a moderate length finish. So I would say everything is pretty moderate in terms of the range of flavors. Now, one thing I'll say about this, there's no age statement on it, and it does come across youthful, but I think they balanced that youthfulness really well with the using on the cask. So you don't get the green notes that you would on a lot of really young whiskeys, and I think they have perhaps put a little bit of makeup on it with these casks to sort of give it a more range of flavor than depending 100% on the spirit. I would say this is a cask-driven whiskey. You do get a little maltiness, you do get some of the spirit there, but it's really a cask-driven whiskey. I really like it. Now, what would I give it in terms of a score? I'm going to go solid 88 points. A solid 88 points. I think it's well balanced. I think it has a nice delivery. It's got a moderate length finish. What would I want to give it in a higher score? I would say a little bit more complexity and a longer finish, and I think it probably needs a little bit more time and age. I would like to see a little bit more character there and more depth and character there in terms of the flavors. I do think the casks that they've chosen, quite unique, do play well together, and I've had this open for I don't know, 9 months or so, and I'm liking it now more than when I originally tasted it. Alrighty, that's it for this video. If you like watching my videos, I would ask that you subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when I go live. And if you are one of my Patreons, I want to thank you very much for supporting this channel. Until next time, cheers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and check out these other whiskey videos.